what about housing? We forgot to plan any housing for the priest and his son. One of our cousins, Peter Serra, raised his hand up. He said, I'm willing to accommodate my probably a second cousin or whatever, or third. So he said, I'll provide the accommodations. So despite the fact that he had 6 or 7 other children of his own, we had to make arrangements and finally put up with that situation.
Now, in 1926, how old were you?
I was 9. I wasn't 10 yet. I would have been 10 in March. It was, as usual, Jamestown is about the coldest winter, and the heating situation in that house was provided by the wood and coal burning stove in the kitchen, and then a big barrel-shaped stove in the living room, and that was the heating situation. But besides being the crowded, it was not the most convenient. And to my father especially, the situation was pretty grave. Living just within a block of the Carlson family, your in-laws, I think it was the youngest of the Carlsons, half a dozen kids or so. He and I got together and got along pretty well, and we became buddies. Unfortunately, because of the accident that Stanley had in the Brooklyn Square area a couple of years before graduation, that our friendship departed. That was my first disappointment.
Well, tell me a little bit about Stanley. This is now personal, because that's my mother's brother.
No.
Yeah, what was he like?
What was he like? He was smiling, and where some of the other kids treated me as a foreigner, he and I got together, and when we played kick the can on the street or whatever we did, he was always on my side. So I had somebody I depended on. So I'll never forget Stanley. Then he had his older brothers, Harold and Henry, and Gladys, and who else?
Ruth and Phil.
And Phil, of course, yeah. And they all had to leave Jamestown, as seems to be the case even now, but they all did well for themselves. But the Carlson house was the popular house. Incidentally, across the street from the Carlsons was on the corner of Chapman and Mount Vernon, the Anderson house. For some reason, the kids had no regard because of his grouchiness, and especially on Halloween night, they would dump his garbage cans right on the porch. And so that Anderson family never became friends with the youth, in contrast with the Carlson family. And then the Constantines, of course, being right next to the church, and the Kitchis, we all got along very well. And the playground was the empty lot across the street from the Constantines, and that's where we played baseball and football, and I finally got acquainted with the games that the kids play here.